Hello everybody, Noctis here. Just thought I'd do a bit of a vlog because, as you can probably tell by my appearance, I'm really not taking lockdown well. It's really messing with me. Um, so first off, yeah, me, Scrim, and Sniper Jaco and a couple of others went to Tech Brigade. That was fantastic. Loved it because it was the last game we could possibly do. The only downsides coming away from that was, first of all, this holster died. This is the holster that I was using at the game that was carrying my HX10. It died. That is what died. The actual strap completely failed. That is supposed to be on like that. It completely snapped. And the annoying thing is, I'd already bodged this before with a shit ton of cable ties, but wasn't going to hold that. So, yeah, so this holster is now useless. That is completely and utterly dead. And the worst part is the mounting kit for it won't fit the Kydex holster that I got for the Combat Master, so it's completely useless now. But I have discovered that the fabric holster that I've had for ages will run with the HX10 no problem, so the HX10 will still run. In other news, I think I mentioned that I was selling my MBOX. I probably didn't, or I certainly haven't publicly yet. Yeah, the MBOX is being sold because I've tested it at Rift Game and it's firing too hot, which really sucks because I've put so much time, effort, and money into that weapon, only to find out it's firing too hot by like 0.016 joules or something stupid low like that. So yeah, I've finally said, okay, enough is enough. I'm going to let someone else have a go with it because I've given it enough time, effort, and money. So I got another sniper rifle, and here it is. As actually you can already see it, it's that sniper rifle just up there, and it's right here. Only the bipod that's in that image is currently dead because the bolt that goes sort of just in the middle of the bipod that sort of keeps the tension together, the thread has completely stripped off that. So at the moment, at least until I can get a better bipod, I'm using the foregrip bipod that works, I guess, but it's not a sniping bipod, so I'm not going to keep it on there. But it's a good weapon. I love it to bits. I used it at Tech Brigade, and believe it or not, it's fantastic. It just works. The only downside with it is we tested it on 0.2s even, and it was firing 330 FPS. The test sheet that came with the weapon from Specna Arms shows it was firing 420, I think it said. So I don't know whether Patrol Base put a weak spring in it or whether it's just not firing as it should do, but yeah, it's not firing at full pelt, so I'm going to have to get a better spring for it, which is no big deal. I can do that because I've worked enough on sniper rifles thanks to the MBOX that working on sniper rifles is no big deal. I can do that. The other thing I like about it is the foam magazine. It actually, as you can probably hear, I've got BBs in there as backup, so if I run out of BBs completely, like in a game, I can just take the mag out, open the top of it, and put the BBs in one of my empty mags. And it's quite cool because it's functional, because it's got the full-blown mag release and everything. But the one thing I don't like about this is the mags that actually run in this thing. we're up here, push forward on it to let the thing come out. That's the mag. These are £6 from Patrol Base. They're cheap, they're plastic, they take about 20 rounds, but they work. And also, they go in backwards, so the feed lips go into the back, which does give it a little bit more barrel length, which is good, but it's weird. It's really weird, especially after having used the MBOX for so long. The feed lips went in at the front on that, so it's weird. But yeah, I mean, it's still a good gun. I've got the scope on there that was on the MBOX. It's still the 3 to 9 times 40 RGB scope, so it's a good scope. I love its bits. It served the MBOX well. It's done well on this, as has already been shown in the video from Scrim, who has already uploaded one video on Tech Brigade, where I was wielding this. I managed to get a kill on it, pretty much straight off the bat, which is great. But again, I just wish it was firing a bit hotter. But it's something I've got time to work on. But the other thing is, I've also taken the suppressor from the side edge and stuck it on here because it's a little bit lower profile. But yeah, speaking of the side edge, that's still running. That's pictured there. I keep getting that the wrong way around. Yeah, that's pictured just there. That's the same suppressor that I've just shown there. As you can see, it's got a little micro red dot on it, and that's great. It wasn't meant, I didn't buy it for that. I bought it for a pistol, but there was complications with that, so it's ended up on the side edge. It's running quite well on the side edge, actually. It's a lot better than I expected. As you can see in that image, there is one key thing that's different, especially in comparison to the video that I just uploaded today, or rather yesterday. It's 2 o'clock in the morning at the moment on Wednesday. Yeah, the foregrip situation. What happened was the flashlight that I have on in that video, the lens on it the glass on it got smashed. I don't know whether this was from me charging into a building and bashing it into a plank or something, or whether it was a BB impact. I'm not sure. But the good news is this allows for improvement, and assuming I can find somewhere to get it done, I can just buy a little Perspex disc or something and put that in there instead, which will allow it to be a bit more resilient. It's just getting a hold of it, which I'm working on. But in the meantime, I've switched the foregrip situation around, so now, instead of having the foregrip at the front and the sort of half grip back just behind, so I could use it to sort of put a bit forward pressure on as well. In fact, I've got it just here, actually. Because I've also made another light change. So, here's the side edge. Still running just as perfectly as it always has. The only difference is I've moved the front sight back a bit so that I can fit a scope camera, which me and Scrum have been working on together. So yeah, the foregrip situation. So originally I had this half grip back here, sort of around here, so that when I held it like that, I could put some forward pressure and I wouldn't get any hand slip, not that I would with all these bloody rail covers on there. Now, because I don't have the flashlight to accommodate for, I can do this. So if I can bring it in sharp, I can hold it sort of half grip on the front. I'll best show this, but then thumb curls around that, which with these gloves on, which these are the gloves I always wear for airsofting, I can keep it nice and sturdy, and it's comfortable. It's not, I can still hold it like around the handguard, but I can hold it like that as well. So, yeah, I do quite like it like that. Also, the red dot, as I mentioned, in that image it's a little bit further back because I had to modify the riser a little bit. But yeah, that works just perfectly. I can see down it just fine. Even my head a little bit higher than I'd like, but if I put my head down right, see like that, I can, yeah. It's fantastic. It works just as much as it always has done. I'm still using the, I'm using a new plate carrier with that, with this. So yeah, the new plate carrier is a lot lighter. It's actually got 3 mag pouches actually built into it, so now I can carry about 9 mags. I believe in the video I did mention that I had like 9 mags in total. I think that was because I was running, I think I was running something like 4 mag carriers. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. But yeah, unfortunately that plate carrier doesn't work so well for the sniper rifle. So I've had to go out and get a new sniping rig, which I'll get onto in just a second. But this is the other difference, is the bloody great suppressor on this thing. This was the suppressor I bought for the new sniper rifle, because it's fucking massive. It's 220mm long, which is huge for a suppressor. The other thing that I like about it is that it came with foam, solid, end to end, with the spring in the middle, as standard. I didn't have to install anything extra into it, which is great because that's what it needs, a lot of foam in there to absorb some of the gas that comes out, or air that comes out when firing, which I have noticed these suppressors do actually have quite a lot of effect. The sniper rifle sounds completely different when you fire it with the flash hider that it came with, or muzzle brake that it came with, instead of using a suppressor. So as I demonstrated a second ago when I shot it at my targets over there, it is very quiet. The only thing that's really loud about it is the action. The rest is pretty silent. It's also been commented by one of the guys who was there at Tech Brigade with us that, I mean, he was on the other team at one point and flanked around me and said he could hear my sniper rifle being used. So he knew it was me and he knew roughly which direction I was pointing, which is a bad thing. That shouldn't be what happens when I'm sniping. So I'm hoping to work a bit on that while I'm working on it in future. But sniping rig. So what I've done is I bought this low profile belt system from Patrol Base, which came with a strap on it, which, I mean, again, this is something you can see me wearing in Scrim's new video. Basically, I took these two, which that I use as a utility pouch, so stuff like grenades, and then I've got a dump pouch here. That's speed loader pouch, and then 2 magazine pouches. These, believe it or not, are actually phone cases. They're not magazine cases, they are actually phone cases. But they work as magazine pouches, so that's how I'm going to use them. I can carry, as I'm about to demonstrate, 2 magazines. I've only got 4 magazines for this rifle at the moment. I might upgrade to 6 eventually, but I can carry 2 magazines just fine in these pouches. No problem. So much so, in fact, that I can go all the way to the second Velcro patch right down at the bottom there with no problems. So yeah, that works brilliantly, surprisingly enough. I wasn't expecting it to work, but it just did. Now this is the other risky part about it. I bought these pistol mag holders, which are elastic retention, and I didn't expect them to work. I thought, hey, these are probably going to throw every single mag I put in there. Surprisingly, it actually held really, really well. Just pick up the HX10, try not to fire it because it's 2 o'clock in the morning. So there's mag, and get in there. It's a little bit awkward to get mags in there, but taking out is a whole other story. So yeah, goes in there, stays in there pretty solid. When you want to take it out, it's easy as that. It's quite crazy. I didn't expect how well these were going to work, and I mean, I went crawling around all over the place. I was taking all kinds of risks going on my front at Tech Brigade, and they held every time. The only thing I don't like about that rig so far is the way that whenever I was prone and I was in my sniping position, the rig had a nasty habit of twisting around my waist, so wherever I was expecting my mags to be, my dump pouch was. Yeah, it really was that bad. So yeah, I'll have to work on that, I think. I'll probably have to figure out some way of adding some extra tension to the belt in some way. I'll work on it, especially because I've got all the time in the world. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. I can't think of anything else. But yeah, as I say, lockdown is not fun. Lack of airsoft is not fun. At the moment, I'm doing a lot of work with, well, I say work. Myself and Scrim are pretty much meeting up daily online on our Discord server, and we get together for some games alongside Sniper Jaco and a bunch of others, and that's great. That's pretty much most of what's keeping me going at the moment. Like, I'm struggling otherwise. Living like completely alone has not been doing me any favors whatsoever. And before I get anyone talking to me about the fact that I just touched my face, I am one of the rare people that has hand sanitizer, so I'm fine. On top of that, I live alone and I know I'm already clear of the virus. So, as far as I'm concerned, this flat and myself are of zero risk. If anyone wants to come and try and prove me wrong, they are very welcome to, and I won't care in the least bit. Because I'm one of the few people that won't. I genuinely don't care if I got the virus because I know I'd be okay completely self-isolating myself in this flat because I already do. So even if I got the virus, it wouldn't be a problem for me. And it wouldn't be a problem for anyone around me because there is no one else around me. It might seem like a very heartless way to go about it, but to be honest, it's only me that will be affected, and I don't care. So yeah, hopefully no comments about that. But yeah, what I am quite interested to hear about is how everyone else is coping with this, because I know I sure as hell I'm not. I'm really not. I'm hating this. It's honestly painful, especially with. I think I mentioned it in the closing of the gaming channel. Yeah, I got diagnosed with depression, which I know some people would probably be like 5 minutes into this video and think, yeah, he's quite obviously not getting on very well. Yeah, it's not just a matter of the virus and the lockdown and the lack of airsoft. It's because that's just how I am. It's how I've been for a long time. It's just finally been diagnosed. Airsoft and gaming have been helping, but gaming is getting to a point now where if I wasn't playing like Heroes and Generals with Scrim and the guys, I probably wouldn't be managing as well. Like, I've got a library of like 400 plus something games, especially just on Steam, and I'm struggling to even pick a game to play. It's getting that bad. I've got hundreds of games to play and I don't know what to play because it's just like I feel like playing something. I start trying to play it and then it's like, don't feel like playing it anymore. I mean, I'm up at the moment. It's 2 o'clock. Yeah, it's half 2 in the morning, and I just can't find the energy to do anything seriously productive. It's that bad. So yeah, I it's kind of making me curious just how everyone else is able to cope because I'm really not. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to stop my rambling there. Um, I hope everyone else is managing a hell of a lot better than I am, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.